African Bank is the largest unsecured lender in the South African market, with loan advances in excess of 60 billion rand, market cap 10.7 billion rand, trades on a price to earnings ratio of 27.8. Its future dividend policy is uncertain, as it's currently completing a 5.5 billion rand rights issue. I was chatting to Alvain van der Merwe from Sanlam Private Investments earlier. Value trap, Paul. Do you want me to spell that out for you? Is what he said.
Well, it'd be interesting to see whether they followed their rights in this exercise. So I think the background here is well known. Disastrous series of write-offs of additional provisions, write-offs of the goodwill on the Ellerines acquisition, which just has never really kind of come right. The rights issue deeply discounted, underwritten in full by Goldman Sachs. They're going to raise 5.5 billion rand, which kind of puts them on more secure footing. I think, as far as the end shares are concerned...
Take a minute to have a look at that share price graph. Yeah.
And that fall-off you see at the end there is, successive write-downs. And look, the rights issue will be a success because it's so discounted and it has been fully underwritten. So pretty soon the group will have this extra capital, but the market cap has been severely tested and the management team is getting caned from all sides.
Yeah, is this an opportunity, do you think, Chris?
You see, this is one of these stocks that have really been beaten down, and one's always got to be careful of looking at what has happened and use that as the lens to say, well, that's what's going to happen in the future.
I wish that was the reality, because then we could take asset managers' performance in hindsight, extrapolate it into the future, and we're all on a winning wicket.
Yeah, my sense, though, is that one's got to be careful. This is a turnaround strategy. You would be taking a contrarian view on this particular thing. But my sense is that with a 60 billion rand book, they have had the rights issue to fill a hole in that thing. I'm not so sure if all the gremlins are out of that particular book and how much of that capital that they're raising will be in fact to be available to beyond stabilizing the business, to actually be there to go into the market and actually compete and grow.
That is a scary thought. Paul, let's just focus for a moment on what Chris is saying there. He's not sure that all the gremlins are out of this one.
Look, they may take additional write-downs on Ellerines. They've signaled that, and that depends on how Ellerines' trading operations go in this December. As far as the book's concerned, remember they fund most of their loan book by issuing bonds in the corporate credit market. The bond investors of African Bank are in fact thrilled with the rights issue, because you understand what that does. It brings in additional capital at a shareholder level, which gives them much more security, because those are the people that take the pain first in any situation, whereas the bondholders are always guaranteed their returns in terms of the way the capital structure works. So I just think it's likely that they will be extremely profitable going forward, and the profits will rise off this very low base. The question for me is slightly different, is that with the share price trading at its current sort of depressed level of around 13, 14, 15, 16 rands a share, when is it going to go back up to 30, 40, 50 rand a share? And my sense of the answer to that is not very soon, because everybody doesn't like this space anymore.
Well, the thing is, the rights issue was a dilution as well, and it's a permanent dilution. It's not that the money is there to actually grow the business, etc. And that's what would concern me. But the point is, at some stage, this stabilizes. My suspicion is that the bonds are the better ones to buy if one's going to invest in the African Bank before one actually invests in the share, for the very reason that Paul has outlined. Decent yield. The dividend, however, if the profits stabilize and actually rebound from here, because a lot of the profits has been depressed through write-downs, and once that comes out, you'll see that rebound. And that African Bank has always been a high dividend payer, and that would be the attraction going forward. But if you're talking about the short term, I would still leave this.
Hot or not, Mr. Theron, on African Bank?
Again, I love the management team. I think they've done a reasonable job under very difficult circumstances. But right now, in terms of share price appreciation, I think it's not hot. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. We can consider it and look at it about being hot next year. For the moment, unfortunately, not hot.
Chris, hot or not?
Also not hot.